What's up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to review College Hills Celebrity Edition, Season 2, Episode 6. So if you haven't seen the 6th episode of College Hills Celebrity Edition, Season 2, turn this video off right now. Go watch the episode and come back and watch this video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's an easy and free way to support my channel, and it literally takes less than 3 seconds. Yeah, I'm not a public speaker, so I will tend to stutter and might hear me say like 1,000 times, so like 1,000 times. I might pause. Definitely gonna be looking to my notes over here that I take throughout the show. Definitely not a tech person, so you might hear stuff in the background. You might hear my loud ass mother. You might hear people across the street working on the house. They've been banging like every other 15 minutes, but I'm going to try to talk as loud as I can so y'all can hear me. I don't know how to cancel out background stuff in the background. I'm not that good with tech. If somebody know, comment below. Let me know how to do it, and then I'd be lit. Did I forget to say anything? Oh yeah, anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. These are my thoughts and expressions. Ain't nobody making me say nothing. These the thoughts that's coming out of my head. All that good stuff. Anything else? Oh yeah, I usually have my water bottle with today. I went to McDonald's, so I got a frappe. Is that it? I think that's it. Oh yeah, I do like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. I don't know, man. I was low-key pissed that they didn't show the fight. I ain't even gonna hold you. I was low-key pissed they didn't show the fight. But I understand why. I completely understand why. It's a prestigious HBCU. I definitely get that. But I was just like, damn. So for that, I don't know, man. I gotta do B plus, B minus, B minus. I'm sorry, B minus. That's how I'm grading it. Yeah. Last chance. If you haven't seen the 6th episode of Season 2 of College Hills Celebrity Edition, turn this video off right now because I'm about to spoil the entire episode. So we get this first scene, which is not like a real scene, but it's like Iman and Parker in the house talking about what happened the night before between Amber, Quay, and the whole Jocelyn situation. They basically laughing it up. It's like they laughing about it like they was really out there arguing about the aux cord. So Iman gets to saying that, so Jocelyn comes out. She was like, what's going on, y'all? What y'all talking about? So Iman was explaining to Jocelyn and I guess Parker too, how Quay felt that Jocelyn was coming at Amber. And he felt like he was the only one that was defending Amber against Jocelyn and felt like nobody else was helping. So Jocelyn was like, what did you say to that, Iman? I'm just like, look at, he's trying to be your friend. I don't understand how Iman could like Jocelyn. Even after this episode, he still was like, Jocelyn's my girl. Ray J too, I was just like, even after the stuff she said, I mean, I've been not like Jocelyn, not liking Jocelyn anyway. This episode just like solidified me not liking her even more. Like, but yeah, she was like, what did you say, Iman? Iman was like, man, I told him that that's female business. Like, we don't need to be involved and all that. Jocelyn, she just shrugs. Then Iman was like, well, Quay, I don't think Quay was upset about that. He was more upset about Amber not sleeping in their room. And he was saying that Amber was upset because she feel like this is what she go through all her life, feeling like somebody feeling like they got to stick up for her. She's basically telling Quay like she don't need nobody to stick up for her, basically. This is what Iman's telling Jocelyn and Parker. So Quay comes, he apologizes to Amber. He was just like, I just don't like when people try to play in your face, this and the third. Amber was like, well, I don't care, I don't pay that, it's no mind, da-da-da. When Quay was in his confessional, he was like, yeah, Amber, she could try to make it seem like she's so nonchalant about the situation and all that, but he was like the type of woman Jocelyn is, like, this ain't gonna be the end all between Amber and Jocelyn. So Quay knew something. Even in this episode, yeah, Iman was like, yeah, you knew something. So then we get this quick little scene about the girls minus Jocelyn, Parker, New York, Amber, talking about Halloween. You know, Amber expressed in an earlier episode that Halloween is her favorite holiday. So they excited about that, talking about what they gonna wear as their costume, saying like if most college students don't dress up, but they trying to do the whole college experience, so they gonna dress up. So I was excited to see these costumes the next day, but they did like the only one that didn't disappoint was Amber. Everybody, Amber and Orion, they the goats. Everybody else, I was like, what? So then New York, she starts talking about, don't look at the pictures in the house. I'm telling you, like, they be looking at me. Then her, Amber, Quay, they all start talking about how they having this same type of nightmare with somebody running through the house. I immediately was like, that's the guys fucking with them. Like, somebody fucking with them. I was like, that's probably Orion and Iman fucking with them. Because ain't no way all three of y'all, I mean, I guess, whatever. If you believe in the supernatural, but how all three of y'all had the same type of nightmares or feelings or visuals and all that stuff. I don't buy it. I feel like somebody was playing with them. Then later on that night when they all sleep, I guess New York was sleeping in Amber and Quay room. It's like a knock on the balcony that wakes them up. And then they bathroom door like moves out of nowhere. I was like, they really trying to make us seem like somebody hunting them. I was like, that's definitely the dudes messing with them. Probably was Ray J too. They run straight to Ray J room. And you know Ray J be having them little gadgets and stuff. You never know. Ray J be into tech. He could have did that. I ain't thinking that till just now. Ray J probably did that shit. Because I was thinking it was probably Orion and Iman. Because they give me that type vibe. They prank them. I forgot all about Ray J. So they go to Ray J's room. Ray J was like, I got y'all. Keep y'all safe. He was like, let's say a prayer. So Ray J say a prayer or whatever. Amber was like, I don't believe in none of that shit you just said, but I feel safer knowing that you here. I was like, dang, Amber, I'm trying to like you, but you saying stuff like, you don't got to say stuff like that. Just let them let the people that believe get their prayer off, and you just mind yours until it ends. You ain't even have to make that statement. So I wasn't really feeling Amber when she said that. So the next day for school, the cast dressed up very mediocre. Except for Amber. Like I said, Amber looked sweet. She was dressed as Eminem. Really pulling it off. She had the bald head. It was just meant for Amber. That costume was meant for Amber. So New York dresses up like a ghoulish version of a schoolgirl. She calls herself a school ghoul. Her face like green. Looked like more some like swamp woman or something. I didn't know what was going on. Good thing they gave the names, because I was like, what? Jocelyn looked like a fucking, I don't even know. Like a market brand Harley Quinn and shit. Orion's costume was is this damn, I just want to make sure that phone call don't mess up my thing. Orion's costume was lit. He basically was dressed up like Oscar the Grouch, but he changed himself and called himself Oscar the Ounce, and I thought that was funny. I was like, that's clever. Even if he just looked like Oscar the Grouch, I thought that was funny. And he still found a way to dress up with somebody whose name started with an O. I just thought that was ironic. Like I said, everybody else didn't even really try. Iman, he had some mask on. His jump was just called Scary Dude. He was just regularly dressed with a mask on. Ray J, he had a Jason mask on. I think that was Jason. Don't get me wrong. I don't be into the scary stuff. Spoiler alert on my life, I don't watch scary stuff. I think the last scary movie I seen in theaters was The Ring. And I was like, I'm done. That was a long, long time ago. I don't watch scary movies, so I don't even think I've seen Jason or Freddy. I know who they are. I know the stories, but I don't think I've seen their movies. But I believe Ray J was dressed in the Jason mask. Quay, he was dressed, I don't even know what he was dressed as, but he had like some head on hanging on a string. So I was like, okay. And Parker just had like some fake cuts on her face. I was just like, okay, y'all ain't trying for real. I said, okay, y'all not trying. Only one that actually put effort into their costumes was Amber, New York, and Jocelyn and Orion. Everybody else was just like, okay. Then we get this little scene. New York said in one of the classes, I think it was Dr. Robinson's class, she said that she had a fiance. But for some reason, that fiance must not exist on this show. Because she is on Orion like butter on toast. Jelly on toast, whatever you want to call it. She talking to Orion, talking about some, I don't even know how they got on the subject of can of butter. But she was like, you could probably use can of butter for like sexual activities. Like you can lick it off and eat it off each other. What do you think about that? Asking Orion. Orion was like, that actually sounds good right now. You making me want to. I was like, oh. I was like, is Orion going, is he going to go through with this? This would be funny if you smash from New York. That'd be hilarious. And she's supposed to have a fiance, so I'm just like, was she lying? I hope she wasn't lying in that moment when she said she had a fiance, because they was talking about a real topic. And she brought that up. And the statement she said about her fiance was valid. She said he's white, so when the BLM stuff was happening, she ain't really wanting to be around him, just that and the third. And that was a good perspective to hear about. And so I hope she wasn't lying. But she on Orion. Orion said in his confessional, he was like, he said, I received New York sexual passes. He's like, I receive them. I was like, so what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Nobody knows what it means. It's provocative. It gets the people going. So, see, there go them people across the street banging. So the cast, they arrived to Dr. Robinson's class. Dr. Robinson, he basically was like, we're going to switch it up. We're going to talk about, I ain't write too much, but they talk about this proposition that came about in the 1950s between politicians and world leaders and black world leaders and activists and stuff. And it was, it was a proposition that was brought about by them, saying that that the black world leaders and activists and stuff would maintain segregation, while the politicians, world leaders and stuff would funnel more money into the public schools for African Americans. So then Dr. Robinson asked the class, he was like, what would y'all do if y'all was in the black leaders activist situation and they came to y'all, if y'all was in their position and they came to y'all with this proposition? So they started giving their opinions. New York was like, it seems unfair. Ray J was like, I'm with the desegregation. Like putting two black kids in a white school would get people talking. It would shake things up, basically. Orion was like, well, he feel like they should have needed more organization with their people. It's like our people never come together until it always be premature or when it's too late, basically. So Jocelyn was basically like, she would rather it be segregation. So it's like she was basically saying she don't need to be around white people. I was like, here we go. That's when it's gonna open up a whole nother book, like is Spanish people consider black. I ain't even about to go there because honestly I don't know. But I do get irritated sometimes when I see some Mexican dudes and saying nigga, and I just be like, I be wondering. So what'd she say? And then Jocelyn said something about Wakanda. I was just like, what? What's she talking about? Was she trying to say she would like it to be like Wakanda? I was so lost. I don't know. Amber was like, Amber was like, well, that would suck for me because someone like me who does have one black parent, I would have to go to school with the black people regardless. So then Dr. Robinson mentions a law that was in Alabama to determine how block. See, I told y'all tongue be running. I don't know what my tongue be talking about. But it was a law in Alabama to determine how black you were. They was like first it was 1/8, then it was 1/16, and then it was something called discernible, and then something called the one drop rule, which is basically a legal standard if you have any type of black in you, you basically black, and that's just the way it is. So the Amber was in her confessional, like that means I wouldn't even be able to go to school with my white side. I would only be able to go with my black side. Quay and Amber obviously wasn't feeling what Jocelyn said about the segregation comment. I mean, I wasn't feeling it either. I didn't even realize she said it because she talked so broken English. So I had to go back and hear her like 3 times. I mean, I kind of got the gist what she was saying, but then when she said the thing about Wakanda, I was like, what? But then Quay broke it down in his confession. He was like, basically, Jocelyn said she would rather be around, just rather be with all the blacks. So this is lingering on Quay and Amber already. So they get to Dr. Trumbull's class. Ain't Dr. Trumbull's class where it get crazy? Yeah, so this is the damn scene where it get crazy. They get to Dr. Trumbull's class. Poor Dr. Trumbull. They picked the sweetest teacher to fight in. They picked the sweetest teacher's class to fight in. Because I was observing these teachers, and you can tell what teachers is kind of like no nonsense and which ones is. Like Dr. Petty, she's no nonsense. Dr. Trumbull, she's sort of timid. Like, plus she let their argument go on for too long. But anyway, they get to Dr. Trumbull's class. She tell them they're going to be talking about Langston Hughes, the famous poet, Harlem Renaissance, all that good stuff. She's like, can I get some volunteers? Read some poems by Langston Hughes. Orion reads a poem that Langston Hughes wrote. I forgot what the name of it was, but it was basically about the black woman. And the way Orion read that, John, I was like, you better speak. And all the women, you could tell they was in the classroom just like, listen to the way he talking. But the poem, it was nice. It was nice. I used to be into poems before I started singing. I need to read some black poems again. I really want to learn like some songs that they used to sing back in slavery times. I know that's sad, but I want to know some like Negro spirituals other than Wade in the Water. I want to learn some other ones. Like that one that, it was a show called Underground that used to come on. It got canceled, but it was a song at the beginning of that jam. I like that jam. Y'all probably like, can't you just look it up? I know I can't just look it up. But hey, I just be saying stuff. So after Orion reads the poem, Dr. Trumbull was like, she was like, why do y'all think he wrote that? So Jocelyn was like, well, he wrote it to uplift black women and tell them if ain't nobody gonna tell you how great you are, I'm gonna tell you. I don't like Jocelyn, but I was like, period. And I don't even like saying period. So I was like, yeah, clutch, sis, whatever. I don't know. I liked that Jocelyn said that, even though I can't stand Jocelyn. I was like, yeah, that's the point of the poem, I feel like. Then, right when I was agreeing with her, she goes off the deep end talking about something, traditional Western European beauty or something like that. It sucks. Like, I hate to say it for the whitey whites or something like that. Even Dr. Trumbull was like, Jocelyn just don't care, bruh. And side note, she I just saw something on the Shade Room where she what did she do? Oh, she did some performance, and then she made a statement afterwards saying that it was her first time performing, not on coke or pills or something like that. So now we know what you was. Now we know what type tip you was on this show. Poor Alabama State had her on there. But I was just like, now we know. So Dr. Trump was like, Jocelyn, like, because she's talking about the whitey whites. Jocelyn turned around like, oh, ain't no white people. Oh, she's like, oh, but just Amber, but she mixed, so what'd she say? Oh no, she said we got one little white person. She's like, well, but she mixed. Dr. Trump was like, well, we don't want to put down anyone, mixed, white, like black, anyone. That's not right. So Jocelyn get to kind of bucking at Dr. Trump. We're talking about something. Well, it's my freedom of speech, and if I if I want to say black people are cuter than the whites, then that's how I feel. It's like if you got a problem with that, rewrite your constitution. And I was just like, damn, like I'm so here. I'm always here for the melanin, the black. I love my people, all that other stuff. Like that's all I be rapping. I mean, that's mostly what I be putting in my raps or whatever. When I express myself, I'm always talking about my people. But damn, you ain't got to put the other race down to uplift yourself. I'm glad I got my scissors right here. This don't got the bleeding. And I kept wiping my lips. I told y'all my reviews is gonna be as raw as possible. Y'all gonna see me cut the jump, all that. But yeah, I'm here for black empowerment, all that stuff. But the way she coming at it, no, you ain't gotta bring nobody else down to uplift another race, all that good stuff. I mean, all that. So I wasn't really feeling that what Jocelyn was saying. Of course, nobody else was feeling it. She was like, "You got a problem with it? Rewrite your constitution." So Amber was in her confessional like, I don't let nobody bully me, but if Jocelyn, she was like, Jocelyn got one more thing to say to me, and I'm going to go off. She was like, so I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to remove myself from the situation. So Amber leaves out the classroom. Then Jocelyn says in her confession, what she say? She was like, oh, I noticed Amber left the classroom because she wasn't feeling what I had to say, but who going to check me, boo? Try to hit a Sheree Whitfield like, girl, who going to check me, boo? Where am I? Even New York was in her confession talking about, yeah, Jocelyn just keep pushing Amber. Like she want to rise out of it. That's why I wanted to see the fight, because it was like, yeah, Jocelyn kept pushing Amber, so I would have loved to see Jocelyn get her shit knocked in just because she kept pushing Amber. Like, you got what you asked for. But we didn't get to see it. I was so upset, but... So Dr. Trumbull goes on after Amber done walked out the class. Tells the class they're going to read another poem called the Negro Artist and the Racial Mountain by Langston Hughes, which talks about being able to basically put any type of art on display, regardless of you being black, you should be able to put any type of artwork that you want out there. Anything to express yourself. Whatever you want to put out there to express yourself, you should be able to do that regardless of you being the skin color that you are. So Amber comes back in class, and Dr. Trumbull, she asks, she was like, what do you feel like is your racial mountain, if you have one, or an obstacle that you've had to overcome? Stuff like that. Ray J stands up, makes another, I don't want to say baseless, because I feel like, I guess his feelings are valid, but it's just like, he says something about, I mean, I understand this. I kind of understand it, what he's saying. He says that the way he dresses, he don't be taken seriously in like business standpoints, because people will look at him and be like, oh, you in the tech? I wouldn't have thought it because of the way you dress, type stuff. So I get that type of stereotype. I get it. But it was just the way Ray J said it. He just be so Ray J. I don't even know how to describe it. He like that hat challenge that he did. Every time you look at him, he's doing something different, just like that hat that he had. What else? Okay, so then Amber talks about her racial mountain is not being able to fit in black or white spaces. Says, when she's with the blacks, if she say something they ain't feeling, then she white. If she with the whites and she say something they ain't feeling, then they call her black. So that's when Johnson turned around. Oh, Amber, you give me more black than white. She was like, yeah, Amber, you give me more black than white. Amber was like, but you just singled me out. You literally just singled me out a couple minutes ago. So Jocelyn was like, well, she was like, if you feel like I've singled you out, then I apologize, but I consider you a black person just like myself. People do the same thing with me because I'm Spanish. Amber was like, but you said the whiteys and looked at me and said that. Jocelyn was like, it was a joke. She was like, stop being so sensitive. I was like, why is Dr. Trumbull not saying nothing in this moment? That's why I was like, she's super timid. She wasn't saying nothing. She waited until, I don't know. I mean, she waited until they got, till Jocelyn started saying something about check me or whatever. And I was like, why is Parker not saying nothing? You mixed too. Speak up. She had a lot to say later on in the episode. I was just like, girl, where's Dr. Trumbull and Parker? Y'all need to speak up. I was starting to think for a moment that Parker wasn't even in that class. But I found out later when she speak about it that she was there. So I was just like, well, you ain't say nothing. So Amber was like, it's not about being, because, Jocelyn told her to stop being sensitive. She was like, it's not about being sensitive. She's like, you can't tell me who I am. Jocelyn was like, well, I see you as black and I don't give a fuck. And I can say what I want and you ain't going to check me about it. So what you going to do? And I was just like, I need to see Jocelyn fight without the security jumping in the way. Because I ain't never seen Jocelyn like fight. Because she always been on a reality show fighting. It's like security then came and broken it up. Because she's just so annoying, man. I just can't stand it. I just can't stand her, bro. Doing that to Amber, bro. So yeah, so after Jocelyn says all that, I'm like, you ain't gonna check me. Now, Amber was like, I'm checking you now. Start rolling her sleeves up. I was like, she rolling her sleeves up. She mean business. I mean, she ain't got no hair, so she ain't got to worry about wrapping nothing up. She ain't wearing no earrings because she playing Eminem, so she ain't got to take no earrings off. I guess that's the only thing left. Roll them sleeves up. You don't want the sleeves to get in the way. I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess so. You don't want the jacket slipping off while you in mid-fight. I guess. I just thought her pulling up the sleeves was funny. But she was like, I'm checking you down. So they going at it. Now Dr. Trumbull wants to interject. He's like, ladies. More so like calling Jocelyn's name because Jocelyn hella wrong. So then Jocelyn was like, your problem is you want to be a white girl, Amber. She was like, Amber don't want to be black. So Amber gets up. Jocelyn was like, look at her, crybaby, about to cry away, crybaby. Amber walks up on Jocelyn and they start fighting, which we don't get to see, so they show the disclaimer, ASU does not condone, yada, yada, yada. Like, dang. Somebody took a screenshot, I guess. We ain't gonna never know. We just gonna have to hear Amber's side and hear Jocelyn's side. So the cast, they all giving their reactions and their confessionals. New York started crying after it happened. They just was like they can't believe it just happened. Dr. Trumbull was trying to calm the class. He was like, y'all just gotta realize, like, race is just a mind thing. Like, it's like race is just a mind thing, and look how hurt people get behind it. Yeah, man. But Amber already been saying she been dealing with it all her life. And situations like that where girls like that say, oh, I think you black more. She already said she been dealing with that all her life. And in that moment, yeah, New York, Orion, Iman, they sitting down, I guess in study hall or something. And they talking about, like, basically Jocelyn just proved Amber's point. Like, the type of girl she had to deal with, the type of stuff she had to deal with coming up. Somebody saying she one side, and they can't fuck with her other side and all that. So, proving Amber's point, basically. you gonna ask Ray J who hit who first? And I'm really looking in my head like, was these niggas not in class? Like, what? I was like, really, nigga? Ray J was like, Amber. They was talking about, they both was, talking about, hope they don't get expelled behind this. So we know one of them getting expelled. I thought it was for sure going to be Ray J. That was definitely my prediction at the beginning of the season. But I think towards like episode 3, I definitely said it could be Jocelyn. Because of the fight. I definitely was saying Ray J and Jocelyn. So Ray J and Quay, they ride back to the house with Amber. They don't take no cameras in the van, but you could still, they mic'd up. You could hear Amber saying, well, Ray J was like, you good, Amber? Amber's like, I'm definitely good. He's calling Jocelyn a psycho, like she probably at the house yelling now. So back at the house, the producers, they approached Amber, tell her she gotta go to a hotel. Amber like, why I gotta go to the hotel? I wasn't the initiator. She tries to say that she was getting up to leave out, and Jocelyn turned around and did something like this. And trust me, I do not like Jocelyn at all, but Amber was lying. Girl, she did not do that. She wouldn't even say, look at the crybaby, because she thought she was about to leave out. That's why she said, look at that crybaby. So I was like, Amber, girl, just take that L. Go to the hotel. You lucky they ain't telling you pack your bags right now and leave. She tries to say that, though. They was like, oh, no, we still got to go, Amber. So Amber packing, she's talking to Quay and Parker. And Parker was like, I wonder what Dr. Petty gonna say about this. That was my first thought too. Before the show even, when Dr. Petty showed up at the house to check on the ones that didn't come into school, come into class, I was like, okay, she no nonsense. So when I heard about when I knew the fight episode was coming, I was like, oh, I wonder what Dr. Petty gonna say. I was wondering the whole time. I was like, I wonder what Dr. Petty gonna say. So that's exactly what Parker says. I wonder what Dr. Petty gonna say. She's like, you know, it's a zero tolerance policy for fighting. They showed a little clip. Dr. Petty don't play, man. So Amber was like, well, of course I didn't want to be fighting because I'm a whole mom out here, but like enough was enough. Like, it's like you can only take so much. Like, trust me, we get it. We got it. They over there working. So here go Parker. You are so that bitch. You did it for all of us. I was like, okay, Parker, where were you? Where were you in the classroom, Parker? Because I didn't even think you was in the class. I thought that was funny, though, because I was like, Parker, I was like, where was you at? She said in her confession, like, Jocelyn was so wrong for the stuff she said. Da, da, da. I was like, why didn't you speak up as a mixed person? Like, that threw me off. So right after Amber leaves, Jocelyn pulls up. Parker was like, oh my God, I don't even want to talk to her. That's your roomie, though. She said something about she don't even want a room with Jocelyn no more. I was like, you still rooming with her after she locked you out your room? You'd think she'd have roomed up with somebody else by now. With New York or somebody. But it seemed like New York being Amber and Quay room. So Jocelyn comes back. She was like, Amber fight like a white girl. I should have threw her through the glass. I was just like, don't learn nothing. Go straight to her room, close the door. So the rest of the cast, they pull up Iman, Orion, New York. So Iman immediately apologizes to Quay. He was like, yeah, you noticed it the night of the aux core gate. You noticed it that night. And had I known, I'd have known to stop Amber before she went up to went up to Jocelyn. So he apologized to Quay. So New York's still trying to shoot her a shot at Orion. She's talking about something. I'm gonna take this green mask off, and if I look like something, I'm gonna go shoot my shot with Orion again, see if he catch it. Basically, I'm just like, I wonder what Orion thinking watching this back. So Orion, he downstairs cooking. I was like, okay. He was down there, Chef Boy and D ended up. New York was like, oh, it smells so good down here. I just couldn't help coming down here. You need any help? So she's saying all these, like, she was like, oh, he was like, I can break the corn for you like this. She was like, oh, you so strong. And just saying little stuff. And apparently Orion ain't catching on to it. New York and Erica Fast was talking about something. I don't understand. Like, what is wrong with him? What is going on? I was like, maybe he don't want to take it there unless you're serious. You say you got a fiance. Maybe he don't want to be reckless. So this is when the cast get their text from Dr. Petty about their grades. So they go in the little house library, and Dr. Petty come up on the screen. She was like, yeah, I know it's 6 of y'all here. We ain't even gonna talk about the other 2. We just gonna talk about y'all grades and y'all grades only. Dr. Petty don't play. I ain't got time for the nonsense. Let's get to the grades. So Parker got the highest GPA. She got a 3.76. She basically got all A's except for in AA literature. She got a B. And then Orion was next up with a 3.75. He was right behind her, 3.75. Yeah, he got a B in African American literature too, but he got a B in this little student success seminar where Parker got a B too. That's weird. I'm surprised everybody got an A in French. And I swear to the way they showed that French midterm, I was like, nobody's passing. Poor Bakayama. He just passed them. He just gave them passes. I was just like, unless it's something behind the scenes we ain't see, I don't know. But in that midterm, that scene that they showed in French class, I was like, ain't no way. But everybody got an A in French. Iman, he got 3.72. He got a B in African American literature too. Who class is that? They just gave out B's like it was nothing. Ray J got a C in African American literature. But he got A's and everything else. Oh no, he got a C in success seminar too. And he got a 3.38. And Quay, no, let me get to New York. New York got a 3.31. And she got a C in African American literature. And she got a D in success seminar. Quay got the lowest GPA. He got a 2.78. He got a C in success seminar and a C in African American literature. I'm trying to make sense. Because if New York got a D in student success seminar and Quay got a D, oh, he got a D. Oh no, he got a B minus in civil rights history. Oh yeah, Quay, I don't know. What was going on with Quay? I mean, I know he said he had the drumline situation, but shoot, Ray J missed like 3 days. Iman missed like 2 days, but Iman was dedicated. But Ray J, how did Ray J get a better GPA and grades than Quay? I was so lost. Poor little Quay though. Quay was upset. He was mad about his grades. He was like, I gotta step it up. Parker was like, I can help you if you want. You know, I got you. But Dr. Petty, she tells them, she was like, basically tells Ray J, you want that GPA to go up, you want them grades to be better, you got to start showing up. It's because of your attendance. And she tells Quay he just got to balance. You got to figure out both. But I mean, they did the Magic City. Do he still got to go to band practice? I don't know. Then we get a little FaceTime cameo from Nene Leakes from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Was she on College Hill? Yeah, she was on College Hill the first season. I'm tripping. Yeah, she left too and had to come back. That's why I probably forgot. She was like, you getting good grades? He was like, I got a couple of C's. She like, oh no, we can do better than C's now. And then we get this sit down, Amber and Dr. Petty, and it goes off. Da 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 da. I wonder who they going to expel. I know Amber was the initiator, even though she tried to say she wasn't. But don't do that to Amber, man. Jocelyn literally asked for it. She said, you ain't going to check me. She said, you ain't going to check me. She asked for it. Don't do that to Amber, man. And Jocelyn was just egging it on, man. I mean, it's a hell of an opportunity and experience to go to an HBCU. So, of course, we don't want either one of them to get expelled. But don't do that to Amber, man. She was in her right, man, in my opinion. But yeah, that's how the episode ended. And I was just like, damn. Dang, did I see clips from the next episode? If I did, I can't remember. I'd be high. Shoot. But yeah, thanks for watching this. Oh yeah. Graded this episode, yeah, a B- because they didn't show the fight. Sorry. Not sorry. Whatever. But yeah, predictions to come. I hope it's Jocelyn. I don't care. Hope it's Jocelyn. Looks like Parker probably gonna be valedictorian. Yeah, I can't think of nothing else. Thanks for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And comment below what you thought of the episode, what you thought about what I talked about. If I was off on anything, forgot about anything, all that good stuff. What you would grade the episode, all that good stuff, comment below. Yeah. That's it. See y'all next time. Peace.